my introduction to Belize poem. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming home. When I see the jungle, I feel like I am just about to get home. For where I was, I could not hear the cricket, the owl, the water and breeze. Oh, it is nice to be back in Belize. Where I live, back in the jungle, with the crickets and birds in the trees, feeding and singing along with the breeze. Oh, it is lovely here in Belize. For where I was, the trees get looted, the waters polluted. Oh, and the air, no, it's not fair, for it is fairly there. This is where I was. Now that I'm here, everything's clear. Now I can see this is where I want to be. This truly is the land of the free, where nature is blessed with plants, animals, and birds in the trees. This is our little Belize.
Belize. Small, beautiful Belize. This little nation is located in Central America and is bordered on the north by Mexico, to the south and west by Guatemala, and to the east by the Caribbean Sea. With about 9,000 square miles of land and a population of only about 400,000 inhabitants, Belize possesses the lowest population density in Central America. Gaining its independence in 1981 from England, Belize is a relatively new country that is still developing not only economically but also politically. Belize has such a diverse society, comprising many cultures and languages. It is the only nation in the region with a British colonial history, yet shares several similarities with both the Hispanic influence of Spanish colonial times and the Afro-Caribbean culture that has thrived. The Maya people are the first organized civilization that inhabited the region, and their ancestors are still part of Belize's colorful, diverse fabric. With the first Europeans to have contact in this region being the Spanish, one could still see the mestizo people in the culture present. During the English colonial period, Belize saw a rise in different groups settling and calling Belize a home. The group and the people of the Afro-Caribbean community finding refuge in this small nation have skillfully maintained their culture. The community's Afro-Belizean individuals, many the descendants of slaves and laborers once brought by the English, speak a type of Creole language. Mennonite community that settled in the later half of the 20th century have also contributed to the complex and rich culture that makes what the nation is today. In a few words, can you describe your nation, your country, your people? I know it's a hard task. But
Yes, I certainly can. In a few words, Belize is a multi-ethnic country. Although we're very small, our population is a little bit over 320,000 people, but it's quite diverse. We're a developing country, so of course we have many issues that we're grappling with. But I do believe Belize holds quite a bit of potential. As a young nation, we're barely 35 years old as a country. I believe we have a really good opportunity to look at developing countries and see what they did wrong and what they did right, and simply choose what's the best option for our people.
when we went down to Belize, we had three major goals. But before we could achieve these goals, we had to understand the complex academic system that existed in Belize. Because of the complex nature of the system, linguistic issues based on multicultural and multilingual backgrounds of the population arise.
So Belize education system from elementary through to secondary or high school is it's a state church partnership that affords students to go to school. And what that means is that the government helped to finance the salaries of teachers in the institutions from elementary through to high school. At the elementary level, 100% of teacher salaries are paid by the government, while the churches provide the infrastructure, the buildings, and the management of the day-to-day activities of the school. At the high school level, it's more of a 70% that the government financed to cover the teachers' salaries, and then the schools are required to find the additional 30%. This is the reason why education in Belize is not free. Even at the elementary age, it's not free. Schools are constantly faced with the dilemma of needing to raise funds not only to find their 30% at the high school level, but pretty much to buy basic materials in the school. What that does, the state-run and the state and church-run system, what it does, sometimes it actually causes a barrier for students to go to school, not only because of the cost, but because of the requirements of students needing to look a certain way when it comes to the dress code. Some schools are very strict. For example, students are not able to go to high school unless they have a pair of black shoes. So if a parent cannot afford a pair of black shoes, that child might not be able to go to school. In addition to that, school fees, books, because that's not provided, uniforms, and all the other things that goes along with their tuition that they need to pay.
Right now, the government has a program where they are giving the books for the main major subjects: math, language, science, and social studies. And they are also very strict in what other books you use. Now, if you are at church school, if you are at church, if you are not government aided, if you are not church state, you can use whichever books you want. You just have to make sure that you have a curriculum that will match their curriculum. But because we are church and state, we have to do their curriculum and we have to use their books. And they send us strict letters that we cannot give the children lists for other books that are expensive. So we are kind of that's the side of the government. Now with the people, I think that some or the majority of our people in my community do not take education seriously enough.
When one understands the educational system and issues present, it better helps one see the situation and be more effective in empowering others. Our first goal was to establish a connection between the two schools in Belize and Bishop Kelly. We wanted to create a bridge between two types of students and two cultures. By making this bridge, we enact the opportunity for trust. This opens the door for Bishop Kelly to continue an ongoing partnership.
I think it is. I'm thinking about it. I think so.
Our second goal was to help children with oral and written English skills. Although English is the national language of Belize, it is the second or third language for the majority of the people. As Spanish, Creole, Burfana, and Maya dialects are commonly spoken in regional communities, English is the language spoken in schools. The majority of people speak their first language at home. Many children leave school and speak their native tongue among their family and friends. An additional level of complexity to the educational system, English is not the first language of the majority of teachers, and many teachers have not been afforded the opportunity to be trained in methods of teaching English as a second language. Also, children do not have enough educational material. Because English is the main language of commerce in Belize, it is very important for the children to learn it correctly. What we did with the children was to read books in English in order for them to listen to the correct pronunciation from native English speakers and be comfortable with the flow of the language. We left book recordings in order for them to accurately grasp the language. To learn vocabulary and the correct way of spelling, we played English word games. We sang songs in English in order for the children to learn certain words or the actions described in the particular song. One thing that we did in Belize is help the children take the Bajat. The Bajat is a test done in certain grades to see the achievement of the students. The test consists of English comprehension, mathematics, and writing. As English was a second language for many of the children, our role was to help ensure the understanding of test questions in English.
We are going to sing to you a poem. Come on, children, let's go. Ready? You can lock it. Luke, what's his name? You can lock it. You can lock it from inside. Okay, 1, 2, 3. From this school they say you are leaving. We will miss your bright eyes and sweet smile. For they say
list of actions to be done in the future. This project is not over. This project hopefully can be ongoing for years to come. This is a mutually beneficial partnership. These children need resources and a good influence, and we need to be exemplary people. The first goal is to continue recording books with English speakers and sending them down to Belize so that these children can continue listening to native English speakers. Sending used or new books so that they can have an opportunity to read and to learn. We plan to continue for years to come to build on this partnership. The service trips to Belize will continue, so that students in Belize can have contact with our students, and so that our students can see the true challenges that these children experience. Donations for structural improvements or academic resources would be great. Lastly, to be aware of the educational challenges present in Belize, to always remember to have an attitude of gratitude and give and live freely.
Three different things that I would really want to do here. Number one is I want to have somewhere for the children to eat. That's number one. Number two is we don't have toilets. And right now I'm working with the Rotary Club. They promised that they will try and get me a toilet. And so I will call again and keep calling to get one during the summer so that when the children comes, they will have a toilet to be in, because the toilets here are very unhealthy. And the third thing that is very basic for me is a library. I really want a library for my children, because if I want them to improve in language, in English, then they have to do